It's unfortunate because Nifty has to be the man to really step up. He was the man to do so with the last time they played in Malmo. Even though they did lose the series, he did go about 52 to 52 if I'm not mistaken. But here we go, kicking things off on Mirage. Furia, one map away from closing this out. And look at those betway odds. Not a lot of people can be betting on Envy, I believe.
Well, unless they want to win big bucks. They've also got a different logo. They become Swole Patrol. Everybody's getting Swole at the moment.
I mean, they might need to get Swole just to have a chance on this map.
Do some heavy lifting. Either way, Vinny straight in. Opening pick goes his way once again, and that's a second already to his name, leaving just 3 members of this MV side remaining, and they're already smoked out as well. In fact, they're all coming from similar angles. It's going to be the rotation through CT from Som. We'll spot out Vinny. Even still has a smoke and a flashbang. There is the flashbang. It's just going to help out Vinny to get his 3rd kill of the round, leaving just Nifty remaining. Hey, he gets 2 kills. Jason, that's at least something. But unfortunately, well, they still lost.
Forever a glass half full kind of guy, huh?
Yeah, I would say just like Dust. You know, I'm a realist, which basically is just a way of saying I'm pessimistic, but I don't want to admit it.
Well, good to know. Good to know. I remember that. But yeah, Vinny just walked straight to the site. Ryan didn't have a chance. Neither did really Fugly. There was just being attacked from a couple different directions, but a good start here out of Furia. Look at that Mac 10 for K Serrato, Yuri, and Art. 3-man stack over towards ramp. And I do believe, look at that, 302 ADR, by the way. That was it's a big number.
It's not bad.
And Vinny again just walks straight in. Android actually hits a couple of great shots, and the problem is a couple of great shots isn't going to be enough to stop Furia from taking over this site. Even some smiles coming out of Vinny there, and that's not too bad of a start here for Furia, who are looking to pick up their victory. And to be honest, this should be Furia winning the map. This should be Furia winning 2-0. I don't want to say, hey, turn off the stream now, you don't need to watch. Obviously, you want to see Envy have a chance. So I don't want to say that, Tom.
Oh.
But I think also Furia in the back of their minds need to look forward to tomorrow, because it's going to come down to their match up against MIBR if they do win here today to see who goes straight into the finals. And that would be one hell of a way to do it, to beat a brethren team from Brazil.
Yeah, maybe help an argument to say that they are the best team in Brazil if they do manage to beat them tomorrow. Obviously, I'm pretty sure the fans are fairly split. Great start from Art. No head armor for Ryan. Means he's dropped. I don't know if they'll expect Fugly just to be sat within the corner. Som is going to be able to get 1. Now, Fugly should at least get the trade. Can he do anything more? Yes, he can. A decent performance yesterday, but even still, eventually the trade is there. The only problem is now is Yuri doesn't quite have the weaponry he'd want going forward into this round. Only a Mac 10 to his name. I wonder if there is a weapon to be found elsewhere.
The thing is, they know the bomb's here, right? They have to. Look at this. He's actually just able to get completely out into the site. Unheard. Now they're going to know with the flashbang coming through, but now he has a real chance with the SG coming off. Android, speaking of coming off, he his head taken clear out. And Nifty's going to tip the tag onto Yuri, but he's still going to survive. He's going to get the bomb down. Nifty coming in with the USP. Let's see if he can close this one out here. Nifty. This would be a good start here for Envy if he can.
Yeah, they're in desperate need of this round. Even the bomb plant alone, just using Pixel through the box. Can't really afford to take a single bullet worth of damage. And while Nifty is just going to be able to win that one out, gets his 2nd kill of the round, and the diffuser will come in. However, as I was sort of mentioning before that happened, the bomb going down is kind of enough. That's their bonus round. They get 4 kills and a bomb plant. Money's going to be good enough for Furia. And with Envy only saving that 1 AWP, okay, sure, they'll have a rebuy, but it's going to have some pieces missing, be it utility, be it even weaponry. Take, for example, the XM having to come in for Android. And as mentioned on the other side of things, not really any problems at all.
Gosh, that's a god tier buy. 5 SGs. Just some utility lacking behind it, but still, when you're up against the weaponry that Envy has, I think you're going to fare Furia in this round. I think, again, Nifty, you need to see him hit some shots. Especially with the op, one of the few real weapons Envy's going to have in this round. An aggressive hold coming out of Envy towards ramp. The flashbang's actually going to push them back. Smoke's coming in consistently and pretty much locking off the 2 players in the site. See that Som might be able to do some decent damage with the Famas there. At the same time, Furia are taking their time to actually get in towards the site. These smokes are going to dissipate relatively soon. They need to start picking up some frags, and they get the first onto Ryan. Som's going to drop in shadow. Those smokes will disappear as looks like the bomb still hasn't made its way in towards site just yet.
Once again, Fodley, that's the second time he's now done that. Trying to piece back this round. 2 kills in here. Nifty very wary that there could be someone flanking. The patience of Furia actually making this scenario quite difficult because Art was pushed so far forward, you'd almost expect them to now be within the site. But they're not. They're sitting. They're expecting a flank. Just watching positions, hoping that someone goes looking for information, or maybe, which seems to be the case for Nifty, going on a slight rotation away. The only real problem I have is they've only got 2 flashbangs. So getting back into the site is basically going to be off raw aim. Luckily for them, well, XM may be good, but it's not renowned for its range.
At least not in this patch. Again, Nifty can't do anything to stop the bomb from being planted. They're going to know that it's going to be an XM there. They should be able to actually lock off that angle. It's actually going to take the entire clip to maybe get, well, a single point of damage, I guess, onto Henny since he didn't take anything from those shots. 3 on 2 now, Nifty. Needs to open things up. Needs to be by himself. Gets the tag in again onto Vinny. Gets the shot onto Henny. Making it more and more likely if he can pick up these kills. He doesn't have a kit, however. And I would imagine the next few seconds that do pass, he's eventually just going to run away from this and try to save the op into the next round. Try and do some extra damage to the economy out of Furia, but save the op is the most important part. And Furia will still take the round and go up 3-1.
Yeah, I'm up in the past. Obviously, we saw the likes of Renegades fairly happy to play in it. It is one that he can dominate, but as sort of mentioned before, we haven't seen that side of him for quite a while. Like, since like sort of dropping the AWP and the in-game leader role, then eventually picking it back up when he kind of have to within this new roster. It seems like that hiatus has left him not quite the same player. Now, I personally still believe that he can get back to that point, and well, still fairly young himself.
I mean, we have seen like some signs of life within him.
But the thing is, he was so good at getting like 25, 30 kills and like consistently, or at least getting like 20 and doing a lot of damage or having high impact plays. In the last map, like you said, there were some glimmers of it, but it was either in situations where he came very close, or it was like, okay, he stole this round away, but in the grand scale of things, the team just don't seem to be good enough to hold out against Furia. And that's a much bigger problem in general. Like, again, here, like, you see a couple of, like, high-impact plays within the round, but it's not enough to win them one. Again, we've got Ryan, who's... And he's not really turned up to Pro League yet. Like, over the last couple of days, it's just been a whitewash for him, and I think getting out of this is going to be fairly difficult. Obviously, a young player in a tough role within the team. Fast push going to be in. Now, that's 2 players they've gone past, but nothing really in this round except that's, well, I was going to say AWP, but even that's not there anymore. Thought he was going to try and do something cheeky with the no-scope. Ryan's at least onto the board. I think he's probably just got players in his ear saying, try and save that AWP. It might be easier said than done, as Henny is ready and waiting. Are they going to get a free AWP? Yes, they will.
Yeah, and I kind of wonder. I would actually like to have an interview with him and just talk to him about like how things are going for him personally, the team. And we did get to hear him before the actual match started. Nice little video talking about him, saying he's entry fragger on the T side, more of an anchor on the CT. But the facts are he hasn't really been able to show up pro league, like you said. And I wonder what would be the equation to unlock him, finally hit that potential within the team. And if he's gonna find that potential, he's gonna have to do it either now or tomorrow, or they could be saying goodbye to Pro League and hello to relegation. That was a hell of a shot out of Art. Fortunately, it's only 1, but in the meantime, the rest of his team are winning duels in other places.
Oh, that's just when you jump spot and just get owned like that, it's just painful. Because you kind of need to do that to find out the information. Unfortunately, well, the information was had. There's someone shot him in the face.
I mean, it's still info.
Not quite the info you'd want. Probably a bit more frustration when the info is given out. 2 players going to be pushing towards short. Now, this could cause a fairly interesting predicament. until that happened. Now the round's quite boring again, I'll be honest. Like that could have been really exciting because Android was lurking around. Instead, Henny just wrecks him and now is just going to continue on his road towards the B site. All that can really happen here is now just Quesorado trying to clean up these remaining weapons.
I think he might be able to do so, especially if Furia do go for the rotate. The money's not too terrible for Furia to chase these weapons down. Quesorado's going to have the spot momentarily. There's Ryan going back to spawn, but Som will eventually be able to trade that. I imagine he should be able to save this, though. We can see on the minimap, Hot Pursuit coming in. Vinny trying to find out exactly where he's going. But that should be Furia now up 5-1. I would imagine Som's going to carry this over. I don't think they're going to chase that aggressively for it. But the problem is, I feel like for Nifty is, obviously you can be a standout player. You can make these big plays happen. But at some point, it just has to be too much. Like, other people start to need to pull weight for the team.
Well, I'm actually more looking towards Som in this map. I think he's a decent Mirage player. I think we saw before as well on Dust 2. I think when it comes down to this sort of puggy brawl style play, like, it's just disgusting. That reaction time. But yeah, when you're in that sort of brawl, that's where he seems to flourish. Whereas when it comes to more tactical maps, I think there's still some stuff for him to learn. So I'm hoping this round at least he'll be let off the leash, allowed to go a little bit more aggressive, makes the jump up, but he just owned. The flashbang is perfect from Yuri and Henny. Oh, he's not going to miss a shot onto a blind player in the open. Pistols once again for Envy. They've just not been able to get anything really going so far, and we've seen them at least create opportunities here. This could be a free op for Nifty. It will be. And that was actually Henny all on his own, so that's a big pickup for them. Android has managed to retrieve the SG from before, although as I say that, he will be dropped, and Art's now pushing on his own. They are giving some individual duels. That is the one thing you do have to say about Furia. They're taking a hell of a lot of risks here, and those risks are starting to bite them back. Envy now winning multiple fights. Smoke going to be thrown in. Looking like a little bit of a ruse to maybe try and bait some players in. And it has worked. They've rotated into that A site as Yuri now slowly pushes in. He's going to be watching for the cross, but doesn't manage to connect onto Fugly. However, that will now be at least some information for the CT side, although they're not playing anything off it. That one smoke genuinely has held them there quite a long time. Vinny going to be able to make the cross as well, and even has a Molotov, which he's going to utilize for short. The question is Yuri going to push? Is he going to look to try and fight this CT side? He's waiting on the corner, and now, well, he might as well. He's got to do something here. There's 3 players ready and waiting for him. He's hoping that someone pushes into the crosshair. Now he's known. He'll go around. Instant headshots, Fugly, but Nifty is too quick this time. A round stolen away, and I want to give props to Envy, of course, like Nifty having a big round. But I think we also have to take something away from Furia there. That was a lot of like risky individual fights. Like, sure, Henny, he was caught out mainly in towards his spawn, but he still peaked in angle. He still expected someone to be there and didn't have any support.
Yeah, I mean, playing with a little bit of lack of respect, maybe.
Yeah, cockiness.
Yeah, and just kind of push it in. I mean, to be fair, Nifty hits the shots when they need it. That could have been a completely different story, though, in that last 1v3. If he came around the corner a little bit wider, you would have had potentially all 3 players lined up for a quick, easy triple. But it's not, again, not like they're not able to buy up into the next round anyways. I can respect the mid play out of Envy. The problem is that the Molotov that was their own Molotov they threw in. I think if Art didn't fall there to Nifty, that could have been a big detriment to the side of Envy. And they get the kill on the Henny too, so the aggressive play works out. Now Ryan gonna look to hold on to this. No one actually checking his angle. And just as oddly as the last round, look how quick Envy bounced back. Not lose a single player so far. Oh my gosh.
The artillery landing in there to close out the round, but yeah, this could be the start of something for Envy. They managed to win a round that they definitely shouldn't have done. Now they've won a clean one off the back of that, which will boost their economy massively. Also, Furia are now going to start to have some struggles of their own, and well, look at what's come out the other side. 2 SGs, an AK, and some pistols. It's still a round that Furia can win, but it gives a little bit more space to this opposing side. And Nifty has started off strong within this match, but look at the change-up. It's going to be a fast push in towards this B side. Art has just run straight through the Molotov. He's all on his own. Does Fugly even know? He's so focused in. I don't think he has any idea that Art has managed to get this far. He's almost used the sound of all those grenades to just hand him a kill. Som is going to be none the wiser, and this is just going to be patient. First one hit, almost a second. The attempt from Art is a good one. The rest of his team as well have doubled back. There's only one man to defend this. Ryan, the man who we're saying is yet to really step up, gets that opening pick, looking for a little bit more, but has to be careful because Henny's now pushed out ramp. There's also a pincer coming in towards middle as well. A battle between Nifty and Vinny, holding him back, but Ryan's still doing the work, holding down this A site. Henny should be there to execute him at least. Oh, you're not. Oh, you get what you deserve. You get what you deserve. Wanted that extra money to try and net himself something extra. Instead, there's going to be shot.
That's rough. That's rough for him. But like you said, he got what he deserved. I mean, realistically, pulling off that round, probably not going to happen. Extra money would have been nice.
Yeah.
A little bit of change for them, considering they were hurting economy-wise. But I think the most interesting part about that round is the confidence it gives Ryan. Up to 7-7. He struggled on nuke. Oh my god, Android. I don't even, yeah, that's just gonna happen. Guy jumping at you with a CZ. Speaking of the manager talking about before, the confidence he might have built up from the last round, can he continue to hit these shots? I think he was 0.5 rating from yesterday or around there.
Let's not talk about that.
Well, the fact is, that was
Oh
yesterday, not today. He's actually playing a lot better currently.
Oh, is Art going to be able to escape? Thankfully, Fugly's going to put him down, and Ryan just sat back, playing a little bit of farming simulator. Nice shot from Quesarado. Oh, don't tell me he's going to get a second one. He is as well. Somehow this round now gets into a decent position. Fugly's waiting on the cross. Quesarado can get the plant. May even be a weapon for him to retrieve. The problem is crossing to the other side. It's going to be a little bit more difficult. He could look to try and just play around with his opponent. It's an open plant for the CT spot. I think Fugly knows that he hasn't crossed, so this is going to be a Molotov that forces him in. What? Oh my god, that is disgusting. Quesarado with a filthy Deeg triple 1v3.
Can we see that last shot again? At some point today? I think I just wet my pants.
I think I just hit a new octave of voice
I was gonna say,
didn't know I had.
Yep. You went full Jason on that one. But what a shot. How do you... I think the incendiary, if that wasn't thrown in, then Quesarado never would have actually known
well, yeah, but
where he was going to be.
That's still ridiculous. Can't even show it. We had to show him planting the bomb instead.
That's for late night Pro League. Not quite there just yet.
Yeah, they could show that during the EU one.
Okay, Quesarado again pushed up. Good trade for Ryan. Get that palace control, and Nifty trying to, I think, make something happen. I think they're putting him in positions to look for a couple of picks. He's played in towards middle before. He's played in towards connector. This time over towards short. But Art's been able to penetrate the connector, and there's actually no one really there to notice him. With Ryan pushed up so aggressively in towards palace, and Android back towards CT spawn.
That is dangerous. Now, he's the last man you want to give space to. You can just see him slowly worming. I will say, the CT side know that this is possible. Like, you can see the constant checks coming in from Android. He is aware that somebody could be in from behind. I think you've also got Fugly making checks to make sure nobody can make their way through the market. So they have abandoned this position knowing that someone could get there. The only problem is, knowing is only half the battle when it comes to Art, because even if you know he's coming, that may not necessarily be enough for you. Android in a strong position though. Flashbang comes through and he is going to win that battle, an important one. And now Ryan's position becomes so much more valuable because his teammates have been doing damage, but Henny's still going to hit the shot, and that leaves them into a 2 versus 3. Barely anything there left to hit. Vinny is going to be able to close out one more. This clutch starting to look possible. Fugly making the push forward, but Vinny hits another. It's left all onto Nifty once again. He doesn't have a kit, is forced to just run away. And that is around that. Well, everything was there for Envy. They had a man in Palace ready to flank. They had a player in CT winning the duel. They had a rotation available from Nifty as well, and then Fugly is just the fourth player.
Well, you know what they didn't have? Henny dead.
Yeah, well, I feel like you can say that for any of the, like, Vinny managed to hit 2 shots there as well. Like, that's just what it seems to be. Like, any member of this Furia roster can step up at any moment and win you a round. And I just don't feel like, I feel like it's Nifty can do that. I know that some can do it, but he has not done it today. Sure, Ryan's had a few moments, but mostly those have just been like strongholds within the site. It's not like clutch plays, so in those, you're so reliant on like a single individual while taking over rounds again. Of course, this one is just more based off pistols. The whole MV roster's been slaughtered. It's left just onto Ryan. Even he's not going to be able to do anything. 8th round onto the board. It was mentioned in the interview, like it was asked, are you going to have like strong T-sides again? Well, they've already got 8 rounds, Jason.
I was just watching K Serrato. I think he's dead, mate. I think he's dead.
I think you got him.
Yeah, Furia just looking pretty solid, to be honest. And I like the point you talked about, you know, anyone can step up on any given round. Kind of reminded me of MIBR as well. And that's going to be an honestly interesting match. The 2 Brazilian teams meeting head to head. You have to wait till tomorrow for that match, unfortunately. Oh my God, he was blind! Henny, you didn't have eyes to use. Now Fugly, seen him pick up a couple of multi-kills so far in this map. And he's not going to get really much of anything here. And just look how spread out like Furia are. They're getting kills towards A, they're getting kills towards B, they're getting kills towards middle. Everywhere they go, they're picking up more kills. And Envy aren't able to just win any of these exchanges, win any of these battles.
That was the criticism I gave for the round they lost versus Pistols, is that they are basically just pushing everywhere on the map and taking fights. The real problem is it's somewhat working. And that kind of pains me, because it really does just mean that at this point, they're just out and out better than Envy. Like, there's no real argument against that. Like, if you can push into B and win your duel, I can push in mid and win my duel, and then another player can push A and win his, then that's the game over. Like, you've just taken the whole map. Not even needing to sort of go together. Timeout taken by Furia. I almost feel like that might be just to let their opponent stew, if that is the case. Either that, or maybe their coach is just going to go, you can calm down a little bit. Like, give them a chance. Don't wreck them too hard.
I know you say that, and then you see K Serrato shooting a dead body.
Yeah, that's
50
true.
times.
Well, I think the other thing could be, like, if it is them taking the pause, just calming them down. Because a lot of teams do lose those last couple of rounds because they get ahead of themselves and do something silly. So maybe just going, okay, like, make sure you get the last 2. Let's make this an easy victory. Let's not give them any chance to get back into this game by getting up to 6 rounds on the CT side. If we just get to 11, win the pistol, it's done.
That's just unfortunate timing for Yuri. He turned away from Connector at the wrong moment, and then turned away from short as well.
Well, they got to be careful. We've already seen a round 1 off the back of pistols. It did help that an AWP was picked up in that round by Nifty, but instead, they've managed to get an SG this time. Execution now going to be coming in. Molotov on top at least, and does do a little bit of damage to Nifty. So I believe that they will have actually heard that there's players down there, and they will clear it out eventually, and Vinny's just going to destroy his opponents, making sure that this investment from Envy isn't going to net too much. Fugly, unfortunately, may just have to make the decision to hold on to that SG. He himself doesn't have a massive amount of finances. Now, of course, the loss bonus is with them at this point, so he would have a buy anyway, but it's not a SG on the CT side.
And money's not really a problem at all for Furia, so they could easily go for the chase. Obviously trying to make sure they don't drop a weapon potentially over to Android. I guess with Henny the only one being really far forward, they're not actually going to go for the chase. It's still 10-4. It's a solid T-half for Furia. It's basically going to come down to just the pistol, I feel like, into the second half. It comes down to, can Envy secure that? And can they take some momentum off the back of it? No, Android will fall. Probably will survive, though. So at least keep the SG. And I don't even know what to say about, like, what can Envy do differently? The fact that they're just losing duels all across the entire map, that's just kind of the story of what's been happening. Maybe like an aggressive play towards middle with guns.
You do love an aggressive play towards middle with guns.
I do, because it's such a pivotal point of the map. But funny enough, it's not even necessarily been a pivotal point for Furia so far, because they've put a lot of attention towards like B halls. They put a lot of attention towards A ramp and Palace. Here we go.
You get your wish, and so far so good. 2 picks and the bomb down already for Envy. They've taken the fight. Missed shot from Art as well, and everything's coming up Millhouse.
See, why can't teams just listen to me more?
We just push mid every round.
Not every round. Just when I say it and it's right.
Just when you okay, but not when you say it and it's wrong.
No, that's when you shouldn't listen.
You
to me.
shouldn't have
I'm
done
a caster,
it.
not an expert. Jeez, come on, teams.
Yeah, that's the advice that Jason's giving you. Listen to him when, in hindsight, he was right.
Yeah, can't go wrong.
So if you can time travel, you're in luck.
Well, all in all, Envy should be picking up this round.
Yeah, Yuri left alone. We've seen some crazy clutches. 1v3 Deagle clutch from Quesarado is pretty damn dirty. However, we're not going to get anything more from that. Ryan with, I don't think it's arguable, his strongest half we've seen so far in Pro League. 180 art, 14-12, and maybe something prominent with him going onto the other side, because considering he is sort of told us he's the man who's going to be entry fragging, the fact that he's actually had a decent half within the map could be something prominent. Of course, the worrying thing is a lot of players do struggle after having a good first half to transfer it over, because a lot of the sort of plays you make are different, but at least individually his aim has looked good. And I think that's something that we haven't even seen that, like even as just the basics, so maybe put some potential there. The problem is they've got to shut down the potential of a double orb setup again from the Brazilian teams, which has just been ridiculous, and Art has been playing very well again, so it's all up in the air, but we'll see if Envy are going to be able to make this comeback happen, or if they're going to be going 0-2.
They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. Show what you gon' do. They don't want all that. They don't want all that.
That sounds like a pop song.
Take a dive before you dry, y'all. It's the only way to live. You can't be without it, baby. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Try before you sign off. Shit can kill the sick. Real stories. It's the only way to live. Fancy cars and the smiles of the ocean. Purple sky, let that night come with peace. Anywhere you wanna be. Anywhere you wanna be. Yeah, yeah. Hold up your sign, though. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. They ain't count on that. Show what you gon' do. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. They don't want all that. Pick up panel to be right on. Yeah. 'Cause no one really gives. Don't look back, I'll keep your eyes on. Long ago. Doesn't matter what it gon' cost. Never gave a shit. Real souls. Let it take a hit. Hey. Who's getting high on emotion? Look around, look around. People fight all their life for some peace. Yeah. Look around. Fancy cars and the smiles of the ocean. Purple sky, let that night come with peace. Anywhere you wanna be. Anywhere you wanna be. Yeah. Hold up your sign, look. They ain't count on it. They ain't count on it. They ain't count on it. Show what you gon' do. They don't want on it. They don't want on it. They don't want on it. Take off.
Well, it seems that the match has been going all Furia's way so far today, as they're up into the second half, the second map up against Envy. Som said you wanted to see him step up a little bit more, Tom, and currently 3-12 is, well, that's not really stepping up, is it?
No, it is not. Like, he had a decent performance yesterday, but we are unable to see that sort of stardom we want from the youngster. But nonetheless, we at least got Ryan performing a little bit better, so maybe if they can step up together, the odds are fair, I would say, and the pistol round's already underway. But there we go, Nifty and Som combining. What a shot from Vinny, though, and they've given at least Henny a chance. Nifty's fairly low on HP. He's going to be getting around the murder hole. Is Henny going to expect anybody to be to his left? In fact, he's too busy watching for Android, but he gets the shot anyway. And now it's left into the 1v1. Android low, but he hits the shot. Keeps things going and get Envy the round on the board. And you can see Som, he's getting a little bit excited there. He's the hype man at this point.
I thought he was screaming, "I got a kill!" Sorry. No, obviously having a rough time in this series. And to be fair, Furia are playing well. They are hitting some ridiculous shots, as you just saw there. But it's going to be rough times. They still have a lot more to go. And a lot of pressure on their shoulders. Remember, if they lose this map, they're up against Swole Patrol tomorrow, and that's basically an elimination match. You lose that, you're into relegation. You win, you're into the second group stage. And obviously, it's not going to get much easier from there to try to get into Odense. Ryan already able to get the entry on towards A. Nifty. Nice little placement out of him. And Furia not really investing anything to this round anyways, so that should be Envy on 7. Trying to save up here for Furia and get that ball rolling on the CT side.
Yeah, Envy actually going all rifles here. So I think knowing how important all of these rounds are, there is, however, one risk with that. And that is that if your opponent gets a kill, they can steal one of those rifles away. So that's a big bonus already for Yuri. The remaining players can't even really hunt either, because there isn't that one sort of SMG player who can just go, I'm just going to lose a MAC-10, it doesn't really matter, and could just run in and try and farm cash. They need to keep the other players alive, because it's fine going for these sort of rounds. It's safer, and also you can make money, but it's just based off all of your players having to survive into the next round. So Envy at least keeping 4. I don't think either team's going to be too unhappy with the results of this round, considering an AK-47 goes into the hands of Yuri. Now we actually get to see what is going to be purchased up by the CT side, because of course it is that earlier round buy. It means that they won't have all the utility that they desire, and the likelihood of an AWP is slim unless there was extra cash.
Calling it, they're going for a mid play.
Oh, they did get the AWP. It was glass cannon, exactly the amount of money needed to the penny, or to the cent, I suppose.
There are no cents in Counter-Strike, just dollars.
Yeah, but what would be like? It is cents in America, though, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking.
And they're gonna check sandwich. Nice little start here for Envy. We get the first 2 frags of the round. Problem is, Henny's still alive, and Henny has an AWP in his hands. Oh my gosh, Yuri just actually pushed the smoke. Som drops him before he has a chance to be impactful in the round. It looks like they're already going for the save here, trying to make sure this off can be maintained to the next round. K-Serrato, the SMG, trying to help assist this. And you can already see Nifty immediately running for this one. I think he caught a whiff of an op somewhere on the map. And he's like, you know what? I'll take that.
I want it.
And he might have it, actually.
Well, he's in a good position. I like that K-Serrato's the man sort of going for the information plays. He still has stuff to lose here. The kit, Kevlar, and a smoke and a flash. If he can somehow kill Nifty here, that would be a massive upgrade for him, as the remaining players from Envy are not really close enough to deny him retrieving this weapon. And Nifty is going to go pushing maybe into the clasps of his opponent. I don't think they're going to get that gun, however, in case Serrato doesn't know if anybody else is close, so not really going to be taking the risk. But nonetheless, Envy get themselves that first buy round. They kick things off well, but we have seen this before. Like, you have to remember, in the last map, they did win both pistols and get the second round after that, but then lost the buy rounds each time. The question is now, oh, that is interesting. I was not expecting a purchase off the back of this from Furia. Clearly feeling like they did enough damage, plus kept enough weaponry to go for another buy, and wow. I don't know if Envy will expect this either. Obviously, they do know there's an AWP and an SMG, but that's all.
You see Vinny again trying to play up close over towards ramp. Only 2 smokes, though, for Envy, so it's not like they can go for the full execute on this A site. Something will be left open. And obviously, that's where Furia can pounce with the buy-up in this round. There we go. Henny hits the first shot. No smoke towards CT. Vinny can be Molotov'd off. Gonna try to back away. And actually gets the kill into Fugly somehow and escapes with his life. 58 HP left. Art able to take down Nifty as Android's finally able to get a kill in the round. But again, Art's gonna be in connector. And Art, if he sees something, he wants it, he's gonna get it. And it's just Psalm left to himself.
Oh, and he's gonna close out this round. And I do wonder, there is a female player for Dignitas called Art Star, and I'm wondering if she might have to give up that name, because I definitely think that this is the star called Art.
So is Art gonna take over her name?
And she can be just called Art now.
I didn't know she actually still plays. I thought she retired. Maybe I'm wrong.
No, I think she plays for Dignitas.
All right, good stuff. Thanks for the little Snapple fact there.
There you go. Enjoy. It's more of just a meme, but we'll call it a fact.
I mean, it is a fact. There is a player. Well, you see enough here with nice buy. Utility's a little bit lacking. They've actually invested a hell of a lot in the beginning. Saw a lot of Molotovs being thrown in. Only 1 flashbang left to use for their side. And they got Nifty on the big green. Well, I guess I could say white and orange at the moment. I'm a little bit worried, though. Like, I feel like adding a player to your team with not a ton of experience when it comes to playing like on LAN and playing against like some top teams and having him be your entry fragger, it's such a large amount of pressure to put on someone. And when you're playing against teams like Furia and MIBR and you're in this kind of group, you need to be able to hit these entry frags to open up some of these sites. And I feel like that's just going to be tough for Ryan to really live up to.
Still manages to get that kill with the Tech 9. A little bit of help going his way. I agree in a sense, but I also think a lot of the younger players that sort of just have that like pug mentality. So like, a lot of the time as entry fraggers, like if you just go like run in here and kill someone, that if they have like a cerebral leader behind them, it can actually work quite well.
It'd probably be easier to be an entry fragger for a team than to be like an in-game leader.
Yeah, exactly.
For a younger player.
I think if you're utilized well, it's for Nifty. He's got a couple of players that seems to be the case for, and getting them both popping off at the same time seems difficult. As we can see, as Som yet to really enter the server just yet. Android has just left it. So he's been removed in case Serrato is going to add another, leaving just Fugly and Ryan to try and bring this back. Not much time left on the clock. They should just about be able to get this bomb down. And in fact, there's more patience from Henny. Waiting, doesn't manage to connect the shot, but he's still the distraction. As Vinny's now going to slowly make his way forward. There is the cross being held by Fugly, and actually, Vinny's not going to check it. They brought this round back, turned it on its head, and left it onto Henny. He has the kit available to him, but he is hoping that someone makes a mistake, and I wonder if he's even just looking to try and hold on here. Maybe get someone on the exit, missing the jump. That's given away way too much information, and he is just going to be running for the hills, and Fugly doesn't want to let him. Going to be chasing him down. Not successful, though.
Ryan just saved the op, though, for Nifty for the next round. Able to get one. Fugly, though, the big entries for Fugly dropping in. The initial shot he got on, I didn't actually see who it was, but it was a phenomenal shot. Just kind of dropping in, not knowing exactly where the players are going to be, and really cracked open that site for his team to take. There's still only one person surviving. Yeah, they win the round, but some stability within the roster. There you go. Right on a case Serrato was great to see. one-man wrecking crew, pretty much, for them. And he was also the top performer yesterday.
Yeah.
So, kind of living up to it here. Currently in second place for his team on 15 with Ryan on 17. And to be, you know, the funny thing is, we've given Ryan a lot of flack, but he's actually top fragging for his team at the moment.
Yeah,
He's been playing a lot better Mirage than we saw on Nuke. And you have to give him credit on that.
Yeah, he said he's the entry fragger and the anchor within the site, and he's definitely done the anchor role on the CT side of that A site. That's where a lot of their success was had. It was actually the B site, which was quite a bit more vulnerable. Either way, double AWP set up in here. Quesarado with the glass cannon. Smoke gonna fall, but it actually goes behind Andro, which could work to his advantage. Gonna be sneaking through, catches off Art. That will give the information at least to Henny in the back of the site. Vinny up close with the SMG, can only get one. The trade is fine for the T side as they keep their advantage going. They got to try and get past Henny. He's not going to be able to connect the shot this time. Molotov can go down, but it's not going to go anywhere near Som, so the plant has happened, and the CT side don't really have much to get back in. In fact, the nades might be enough to actually kill off Henny. He's sort of looking towards his teammate going, you got a smoke? Because I think I might burn here, but he's just about going to survive in the corner. Now the CT side, I think they're ducking out of this one, leaving Henny kind of stuck in the corner here. He is going to be allowed to escape.
A shame that Envy can't really afford to chase this one either. Taking away the double op for Furia. I feel like as long as you have 2 ops saved to the next round for Furia, there's a very good possibility that they could actually win the round still. All you got to do is get Henny set up in a nice position, maybe Quesarado as well over towards B. But I think the most important part for Envy is just take it round by round. Make sure you can lock these down. Get one step closer to tying things up. And more importantly, get some confidence. We're starting to hear some more livelihood out of them. I know it is late over here in Burbank, but we're starting to hear them get some screams and starting to get some confidence.
Yeah, be an important time to start to step up the plate. The only problem is what we saw yesterday when games started to get close with Furia. They then just improved. Like they even said it themselves. They sometimes get a little bit ahead of them and then start to throw silly rounds away by trying to do things too quickly. So obviously now they're not really setting the pace as they are on that CT side. Although somebody can tell that to Art. Either way, we'll see if they're now going to start being a little bit more calculated. They're still investing money into this round. The double AWP setup was retained, and they will have the money to go into the next round as well based off loss bonus.
As interesting as also Quesarado did what investments around to buy armor for it. Sticking with the glass cannon from the prior round. So definitely looking towards the future of the next round if they are unable to lock this one down. It's going to be a delayed push in towards middle out of Envy though. They still have retained a majority of their utility. And the ops that we do have in player, well, with one over towards B and one currently watching A Palace at the same time. So they should be able to safely get across. Unless Art could do something ridiculous with the SMG, but let's be honest. He shouldn't be able to get much, at least from that distance.
And this is going to be the play into the B site instead. Yuri at the back has done work before. Quesarado needs to switch his gaze on towards short. The cross is going to be looked towards, and he does manage to get one, but that is all. Do they still expect Yuri to be in this corner? He's got so many angles to check, and Ryan spots him out. A double entry into the site. Good round from him. Molotov will force some off the bomb, but it doesn't make a difference. The round is done. Again, we're going to have to see the save come out. Henny unable to really get into the rounds too much. They've sectioned him off. They've avoided him in different occasions, and yet to see that big play that could turn things around. So it is going to be the equalization, 11-11 on the T side now for Envy, and well, just looking at Furia to see if they're going to hit that next level or if Envy are going to take us to a third map.
You have to wonder, though, if Art had a different weapon, maybe, or was keeping his eyes on middle a little bit more, Quesarado would have had more time to work with AWP from that position, back towards bench if he wanted to retreat over there. The fact is, they only knew they were hitting the B site once they were already basically in the site.
Yeah.
So he wasn't able to be too effective, and getting picked off over towards B halls. And then, yeah, Henny, I mean, he had Palace locked down to a T. Problem was no one went that direction.
Yeah, it's very easy to cover off a position if there's nobody there. Oh, Molotov. The attempt there was to give him a gap through the smoke, but I don't think it actually quite worked. Maybe as it fades, he'll get a little bit of an angle. The big problem is that Furia are consistently forcing into these rounds with weaker purchases than you'd like to see. And it means that, so in these late rounds when maybe they would have a smoke or an incendiary, they've already expended it. So if there is a push onto the B site, there's not much they can do. They can't flash for teammates because they don't have any flashes. And even a lot of the time, they just have to gamble off of aggression, which is kind of what they're doing here on towards ramp, like trying to use the SMG in a spot where it will actually be advantageous.
And it's not like they're going to hurt the economy out of Envy either by forcing up consistently in these rounds. I mean, you have Nifty on 6K, Fugly on 6K, Ryan at 5.5. Obviously, taking the momentum away from Envy would be a nice little change of pace for him. But they'd still have to consistently fight up against these teams with these purchases. K-Serrado going to be left alone at B, as we can see, though. Bomb back towards top of mid. Henny with AWP able to be successful. I like this position as well, holding this cross, making sure to take away a large portion of the map. The problem is the B site can be left open. Henny's going to be rotating in to help out K-Serrado. And I'm just going to hit the first shot. Bomb still has yet to make its way in towards the site.
Yeah, that's the main problem. And actually there's a push coming in from Art as well. They've got to be careful. The bomb's just going to make its way on towards the site. I think Art knows if he can deny it, he can win the round, but he can't quite get close enough. Wants to make sure he doesn't just hand away that man advantage, but he might not have a choice. The Molotovs will hold him in to this position, even start burning him out. They've heard it, but Vinny's managed to get one as well, using that SMG. The android lurking around the edge of the smoke, trying to get him behind them. He knows that they're focused more onto the apartments. He picks off one, and now they switch their gaze, but even still, he may have done enough. Henny does have a kit, and will spot him out, just trying to pre-fire these angles, but he can't do anything. It's left onto Nifty. He knows that the clock's on his side at this point. He does not need to face versus Henny, and instead is just going to back out of the round. That AWP will be saved again for Furia. An impact this time was had, but they can't win things out. It's this man on your screen who's pulled off a fair few clutches at this point.
I mentioned about confidence before for Envy, and they seem to be having a ton of it, considering they now have the lead finally in this map. A little bit of a timeout coming in, maybe some talk some things over on the Furious side, and hell, they need to. You've already talked, Tom, about how they've been consistently forcing up these rounds, and because of that, maybe a lack of a incendiary here, lack of a smoke there, could potentially be costing them some of the lack of success that they have yet to have, or the lack of success they're having currently.
I don't even think we've seen them with a full buy for a long time. Like they've either had like maybe a glass cannon AWP or an SMG or just some lackluster grenades, and just continuing to force again and again. And okay, sure, the purchases aren't bad and the rounds have been pretty close, but you do wonder if maybe that extra player had an M4 or that extra player had an incendiary, that maybe they would be taking these rounds rather than just letting them slip. Good start though, I like that. Rather than jumping up, boosting on the head, actually looking to go for a little bit more. You've got your two AWPers now with the AWPs in hand. Fugly almost being given an angle, but that will be instead information for Furia. Once again, we see the T's building up. They're relying heavily on Art to do the work here. Understandable. He's actually going to take a bit of an off angle, jumping round the corner into the window. Not an angle that people really check too often, because it's not used that often just because it's quite a high risk. Smoke's going to be thrown into section offshore. He's actually just going to opt to fall back. Now going to be using it almost as a shotgun. Art left completely blind, but luckily he has K-Serrado with the SMG to help him out. And this is that horrible situation of being caught behind a Molotov. Now Art has actually managed to get in a bit of a sneaky position. K-Serrado's still going, and they haven't spotted him. That's a free kill, as easy as you like, and even gets the second through the wall as well. Big plays from Art, big plays from K-Serrado. And while they finally get themselves back onto the board.
It's a lot of pressure to put on this player, to put on this man. Pretty much leaving him alone towards the B site. Eventually, K-Serrado just rotated in to help out, but what the hell, those two shots.
I think he enjoys it. Like, I genuinely think that he's one of those players that just seems to relish the pressure.
He wants to be a playmaker.
Yeah.
He would rather be the one in that position than to put someone else there.
Yeah, and that is, like, for an in-game leader to be having to think of what everybody else is doing while also making ridiculous plays. I guess the way you can look at it, though, is if his plays work, they win the round. If they don't work, he dies and can just be, like, the puppet master of everybody else.
Yeah, and even more importantly, give them some time to think. Let them try to clutch it out and then think about the next rounds, think about what they can do differently on their defensive side. Well, Envy back in the buy-up. A little bit worrisome, though, if they lose this round. Not going to have much to spend into the next, and that could be Furia on 14. Serato on the SMG again, by the way.
Seems more of a choice at this point, because you've got Vinny with 4.4k. Here we go, though. They switch towards the B side because of the heavy presence. Now Vinny has got everything to do, and Som's going to get that opener. There's no one left on this A site. They were playing further in towards middle and further onto B. They don't have any real space here. There's no smoke down into CT, which could give them something, but the bomb's evidently not going to be planted in that direction. The only problem is I think there's a missing smoke on towards short as well. So this is going to be interesting. The smokes are faded. Yuri looking for a way back in. There's so many players around this sandwich. He's actually going to be tagged as well by the AWP. Art's going to be the one looking to try and make the play back in, and he fails. And I think, again, this might just have to look towards the save. Oh. That was very, very close to Serato going down. Kills off Som instead. Not really that much of a problem, although Envy do still have a bit of lack of finances. There'll still be enough for him to be handed a gun into the next round. And the same could be said on the other side. Like, that extra money now being kept by Vinny will allow for another weapon to be purchased, or that can be dropped over to Art anyway. So still not out of the woods just yet, but the lead taken back. And you can definitely see that they are feeling far more confident on that Envy side.
The thing is, with a double op setup still available for Furia since we're maintained into this round, yeah, they have the confidence for Envy, but you still have to be careful. You still have to be very wary of this and figure out what to do. Maybe keep playing aggressive, keep playing fast-paced like they did just do on the ace side is a potential answer. It also gives Nifty not really much opportunity to set things up to hit a shot. But now look at that, Som rushing straight through. He's going to continue to go towards short. Actually, going to jump in towards window, but luckily the spot out comes through. Fury see him, that allows the rest of his team to actually adjust. And potentially should know if Art spots out this first player that the hit will come towards B. He misses that shot. Incendiary comes down to buy him some time, keeps them back, and actually wastes out a decent amount of incendiaries on the other side.
So I'm going to be holding off rotations. Art connects onto the one man on short. And actually, because of that kill that Som's just got, they're going to double back. They're going to look for the rotation, but Serato's still here. This definitely isn't clear just yet, and he's going to try and edge his way further into the site instead. Back into window for Som. It's a bit of a weird round. I think the CTs have some information that they've gathered, but a lot of it doesn't seem to be that useful. Serato now back on default. He's managed to switch up. Nice shot, at least, from Nifty, but Henny is still there, and the bomb's been dropped into the open. There's now the heavier stack of defenders on this A site, ready and waiting for this push to come in, and Art still holding in case they try and go back in the other direction. In fact, he's going to find the kill through the connector. Things are becoming more and more difficult by the second for Envy. They're letting this round slip away. Som, I think, was spotted, but he hits the shot anyway. Henny's still standing, though. 23 seconds left, and when did they even opt to plant this bomb? That's the real trouble. There's not really any space for them to actually clear this spot. Nifty has to defend off his teammate, and that's exactly what he's going to be doing. Able to fall back in towards the site. Art now switching to the rifle. It's the first, not the second, though. It's left onto this AWP battle. A nice shot from Nifty once again. This man is just king of the clutch, and Som is loving it.
3K for Nifty. And it didn't look too good for them. They had no smoke to cover off connector. The rotate back in towards the A site. A lot of their utility was invested into that push, into that commitment towards B. But you saw the Molotov thrown in delayed them. But Nifty just hitting shots. They don't need utility when he's connecting. And a crucial time for Envy to win that round. Puts them on 14, puts them so close to take us to a third map on Vertigo. And Furia, well, that was their last time out, and they didn't have much money left after that round either. They threw everything into that round. All the money they had saved prior. And that has to be frustrating. So close to be able to clutch that out for Art. The double ops they maintained for the last, I think, 3 rounds. turns out to be unsuccessful.
Wait, you can actually see at the end of that round from LA as well, their coach just going, focus, focus. Like, come on, guys. Like, tapping the back of the chair. Like, because Som is so focused on, like, screaming and trying to, like, get in the heads of his opponents that maybe they're not, like, setting up the round properly. And while the man who helped them out in the last round is gone within this one already, the AWP of Art once again finding the opening pick. It's still been a good showing from him. Maybe not quite as crazy as the last. Speaking of crazy, Henny almost getting caught out in the bottom of mid, but will be allowed to fade away, and they'll keep that man advantage at least for now.
I'm looking actually at the money, the funds for Envy. Nifty is the only one who has a little bit of pocket change, 6.1K.
He's the only one surviving.
Yeah, that's also true. But if they lose this round, let's just say, Furia should be able to jump to 14. It should be 14-14 apiece, and it comes down to these final 2 rounds to see who can...
Depends on a bomb plant. I think they should... Like, I reckon they would still buy, even if they lose this round. I don't think that they'll take the hit, but...
You would imagine Yuri's going to be overrun. And he can't take down too many more. They're going to actually rush around the corner. Yuri turns around and at least gets one. Flashbang comes through, but Henny's not able to hit the shot. They still keep a 2-man advantage.
Surely
Henny just
this is going to spread.
praying that it doesn't spread
There's no
towards
way
him.
he survives that. Absolutely none. It would have been better, if anything, to just try and take one with him. Unfortunately, he was praying.
Oh no, but Vinny's here waiting. They're actually rotating right back into him. Is he going to hear them before they come around the corner? Yes,
For
he
sure.
will. There should be some free shots, should be some free kills coming for Vinny. And he gets the 2 and keeps Fury alive, puts him back on 13.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to be able to save the secondary AWP, which is still a bit of a loss for them. But this is where things get interesting, because there wasn't a bomb plant. It has been a streak of rounds going the way of Envy, so their loss bonus shouldn't be anything too hot at this point. They're actually going to take the hit. I can respect that. A lot of teams would not like to allow their opponents to hit that 14 marker and equalize the scoreline, especially not one of the caliber of Furia. I'm definitely seeing like a strong Mirage, though, from Envy. Like, they gave MIBR a run for their money. They're doing the same here. If anything, they're still in the lead for now. They're going to try and get themselves a bomb plant here. Push straight out into the hands of Vinny, but he's only going to get himself one. Nice shot. Will drop the bomb and actually throw it into a position which might be a little bit more difficult to get back, especially with the limited time they have left on the smokes, and of course, the huge limitations to the weaponry. But there's that bomb plant. That's massive for them. That repays any investment into the Deagles. It boosts some of the other players' economy as well. For example, Fugly a little bit lesser off. And now they can try and do some damage. And hey, they've been doing a good job at that. Fugly trying to be a bit sneaky, but he has been spotted out by Art. This should be a kill. What?
It should be a defuse, though. The thing is, they know let's play in CT spawn. They know a player was towards Palace. They have the kits. Nifty just got a kill prior, so they should know where he is, but he's going to rotate back around CT spawn. The bomb going to be stuck. Going to come around the corner, able to get the kill, and Fury will get the defuse, but that was much closer than it should have been.
Yeah, Quesarado, I don't even know if he managed to upgrade into... I think there was a rifle around that angle, but I wonder if that was the one that Nifty actually walked away with. But yeah, that was way too close for comfort. That was a round where, after they got the bomb down, I was like, and now Furia win. But it really did come down to the wire. Cameraman trying to find the coach. A little game of hide and seek.
I could just see him behind the camera, just like looking at Som, like waving him, like, move your head.
Get out of the way.
Tough times, though, for Envy. Nice to see some life within the team, considering it was a 69 scoreline on Nuke, the map they chose, the map they beat Fury on less than a week ago in Malmo.
Man, this could be a very different story. If they manage to repeat that, they could be looking for the 2-0 themselves. Instead, even though the scoreline's equalized, they're the ones in survival mode. Fury already getting a victory yesterday. Oh, quick flick, though. Nifty starts things off. Opening pick going their way. They're looking to just fast rush on towards the site already, catching Vinny in the open. Nade's going to do a decent amount of damage, but now he has to try and survive. Double Molotov out and leaves it on to Henny. He's the surprise, the lurker in the backlines, but he's caught as well. And Quesarado falls. It's now left all onto Art, and surely the only word in his mind must be to save this AWP. might not be given the chance. Again, just look at Nifty. He's just reading this perfectly. He is on point at the moment, 23 and 16. They now have a map point, something that we definitely didn't expect coming into this series. It was nuke all or nothing, and then they had to try and fight it out. But the fact is, they are now 1 round away from taking us to the 3rd map, just not in the order we expected.
Thing is, they did play Mirage, and it was a 16-9. So funny enough, able to lose their own map choice, potentially win their opponents. Art pushing in towards Palace. He's going to lose. Yuri gets the first, though. He's taking Nifty out of the fight since he's on 24 frags. This is a decent win for Furia, even though they did lose out on 2 players. And who do they have? You got Queserado with the SMG towards B. You've got Vinny there as well. And Henny, the other one with an actual rifle, is trying to anchor over towards the A site. I don't really see a world where Fury can pull this off. The 2 players to defend with only a smoke to use. I think it's likely we're going to that 3rd map, Tom.
Well, we're going to have to see some impressive plays off the back of SMGs no matter what happens here. There's still lots of time left. Like, Envy don't need to dedicate themselves to this site just yet, but they have been pretty damn good with these B entries. Just waiting patiently. They're expecting some level of aggression here. And they would be right to. Just look at the play coming in towards short. Vinny hoping he can catch off Ugly, and he is going to do just that. You expect now that the remaining Ts are going to try and burst out on towards this site. Queserado has to do it with the MP9. He has managed to catch off 1, almost a second, and in fact, Vinny's going to get it instead. He's been given a chance here. Android peeking out will end his life, and now it sits onto Henny. He's found the SG. He's made his way onto short. He's just going to wait for Android to make his move. If he does drop down, he'll hear it. Crosses towards the side, and he loses it. Android hits the instant headshot, and they're going to take the 2nd map. It is going to be a full 3-map series, something that we have not yet seen within the Pro League in North